Hi Cancer, welcome to your July 2018 love reading. It's Raina here, and I'm trying to think. I'm doing a slightly different spread, but they're usually the same basic components, just in a different order. So I'm going to be picking the bottom of each card just because I think it yields a better kind of a thing. Okay, now I gotta remember. Okay, let me put these two on the side. Okay, I gotta remember what exactly each position is. Okay, just give me 1 second, because I always have to have that kind of intention when I'm picking the card to know exactly which position. Okay. Oops, we're missing a few, so I'm gonna cut some more. Okay. I'll put this like that. And maybe cut it again. Okay, and then the last card. This is okay. Just a way to make sure that I circulate the cards. Okay. So the main concern with the relationship right now is represented by the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. This can be an earth sign person who is creating problems in your life. Now, I always think of Capricorn because this is the opposite sign of yours, and it is going to have that connection with you as a complementary sign. Capricorn, I keep saying I want to look to see if it is. I mean, Pentacles are earth signs, so we know that it's going to be earth. The other earth signs are Virgo and Taurus. But the number 10 is significant for Capricorn because they rule the 10th house of career and astrology. So I don't know if this is connected specifically to them, but definitely in the upright position, this is a card of affluence and family money and things like that. So obviously if the card is drawn in the reversed position, there is some kind of haywire thing going on that is the opposite of that. So either you're dealing with somebody who is an earth sign person who is not resonating with you anymore. There's something off in the relationship. Or maybe you can't get it going with this person. Maybe you have a crush on a person. You're not in a relationship with them, but it seems like nothing ever pans out with this person. There's always some delay, or maybe they are involved with somebody else and they keep saying they're going to end the relationship and they never do. Who knows? but it's like there's some kind of thing that's off. The timing is off. The ability to get together with that person is off. Or this could be you and your partner arguing about money. The Ten of Pentacles can also be an inheritance or any kind of money. The Justice card is there. So I would say any kind of money like alimony that you may be trying to get from a partner, maybe even child support, I don't know. But this may be what is kind of occupying your mind. Now, it may not be, that doesn't sound very romantic, so it may not be that this is the person that you are trying to be with. It may just be that you are consumed with this issue and it's preventing you from kind of moving forward in your life. But there's always a possibility that you're in a relationship with a person, and it could be of any sign, but you're fighting about money. Or maybe they have lost their job and they aren't contributing, and that's really bothering you. Sorry. So something with money, but the Ten of Pentacles, though, is family money a lot of times. So I don't really know if this is a particular lump sum of money, like an inheritance that is creating problems, or if a family business is involved here and maybe they want you to go in and that's creating friction with your partner and you don't want to do it. I don't know. But something along those lines. And let's see. So you recently have become much more self-empowered, Cancer. And one of the things that I find is that when people start to learn about self-empowerment, the law of attraction, the number 8 is the infinity symbol sideways, and the number 8 is a number of personal power and wealth. So you may be turning your back, maybe that's what it is, you're turning your back on some kind of money or job offer that's coming from your partner's family. I don't know, so whatever it is, but there's something about this that connects with your own independence. Cancer, males and females, are very family oriented, but they're also cardinal signs. And Cancers, I think, can surprise us sometimes with their gutsiness, because they're not pushovers. Don't get it twisted, anybody who's dealing, if somebody is watching this who is not a Cancer, don't think that you're dealing with somebody who is a pushover, even though they may acquiesce on a frequent basis. They are their own person, but they want to help their loved ones. Eventually, though, if they feel that there's not this sense of appreciation, or it doesn't help them advance their own goals in life, they may turn their back on something, and they may seek their own, follow their own bliss. The Magician card is a card of resourcefulness and a card of initiative. That's why it's the number 1. And looking out for number 1 too, I think. And that's not a bad thing, Cancer. If you're used to, maybe, who knows, maybe this has something to do with children, and you have a spouse that doesn't want you to work. And that is a bone of contention. And you're feeling this sense of independence, and you want to make something happen, but you may feel that that person is squashing your efforts. And so you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. You want to be I'm going to just say gender here. You want to be a good mother, but you don't want to let go of your ambition, your professional ambitions. And I think that you have gotten this way recently. It was meant to be because you've had like this 10-year saga of Pluto and Capricorn kind of pushing back at you and forcing you to look in the mirror, to look at your shadow. And you're going to have a solar eclipse in July 12th, Cancer, your date with destiny. You're also going to have, I believe it's in November, the North Node going into your sign. This is a very special time for you to shine, to just see, you know, just partake in things opening up for you, opportunities arising. And the more you can feel deserving of it, the better. Your love life, your relationship is important to you. It's very important to you. But you have other interests as well. And your family is important to you. But you have your, you know, especially depending on what time of life you're in, what cycle. Are you in your 20s? Are you in your 40s? Or 50s, and your children are teenagers, or they're already going off on their own? That's a time of transition, and it doesn't have to be that they're already adults. That even when children enter adolescence, that can be a time when you feel this sense of, now what do I do with my life? And I think that some of you have some really good ideas of what you want to do. The lesson you needed to learn. The Four of Wands is a card of the happy home life. Again, with numbers, numerology. The number 4 is stability, foundation, and you rule the 4th house in astrology. Now, this is of home and family, by the way, and the mother. Now, this is Wands, so this is about passion, having a passion for doing that. It can also be a new home, by the way. I think in this context, it's more about, maybe you've been there and done that, and you've been able to fulfill your dream for family life, and you've enjoyed it, and now you're in another phase, and you're facing some kind of pushback. However, some of you may be like questioning if you have gotten that from your relationship. If you're involved with someone and you feel that you're always fighting, the Four of Wands, as a lesson learned, is about comparing what you have to what your expectations were going in. You may have imagined a home life where there was a lot of laughter and a lot of joy. And if you fell short in that area, then it may have been a glaring contrast. And that's okay if that happened, because it's all about the soul's expansion. The soul comes here to experience different things, doesn't it? At least that's my take on things. And so it's not about getting the wrong answer on a test. It's merely about experiences. And if you haven't had what you envisioned, never count it out. You never know. It could come true for you. But it's possible that you have, especially if you've already raised children, that you are simply in a different phase, and you came together to have those children, and now it's time to move on. How can you get to that state? Well, this card is the soulmate card. So what I would take away from this card is that some Cancer people maybe have never let go of a certain relationship that is close to their hearts. Somebody from your past. This card, I believe, does connect to your sign. And it's about the past. It's about fond memories of the past. So maybe this is somebody that you feel you should have been with versus the person that you ended up marrying or ended up living with, having a family with. And you've never let that go, even though maybe it's hard to admit that to yourself because it makes you feel guilty. In some cases, this is going to be a litmus test for younger Cancer people. If you want children, because this is the card of children, you may be saying, do I want children with the person I'm with? With this person who may be problematic in your life. Maybe they drain your energy, drain your finances, and simply don't contribute to your life. You know, it's one thing if someone doesn't contribute financially, but it's another if they are an energy drain. I think that's, of course you could say money is an energy and that could be a drain too, but I'm talking more about the way that you interact with them. What are the pitfalls with standing in your way? The Justice card. Now this can simply mean that you don't want to go that route. Maybe you feel, maybe your religion frowns upon divorce. Maybe you don't want to spend the money. Maybe you just dislike the idea of having to get a lawyer and just going that whole route. I can understand that completely. Maybe there is this thing inside of you that doesn't necessarily feel that you are deserving of happiness. Now, I don't mean that in a pathetic way. I mean that with the Justice card, we're talking about balance. Sometimes with Cancer people, there's a tendency to give and give and give and have a hard time receiving. And you have to receive for there to be fairness and balance in your relationships. But it may feel easier to nurture than to be nurtured, to love than to be loved, and to receive love in the way that a person wants to give it to you. So the Justice card features the scales, and the scales have to be balanced. And so sometimes it's important to look at your attitude towards love itself, or towards marriage, whatever you are looking for. And what expectations you have of the other person. And do you really hold them to them? Not in a pushy way, but just in terms of observing. It can be like a secret type of evaluation that you do. And that way you know that it is an equal relationship. Justice card is about equality. But it does take two parties to be able to do that. So you're part of it. What is coming in is represented by the Ace of Swords. This is the card of seeing things as they are, the sword of truth, a moment of clarity, cutting through the illusion and experiencing success in your life. But that success comes with a lot of serious introspection. It's not about you being glib about your life and acting like it's no big deal. No, actually, you're somebody who really wants to get to the bottom of whatever it is that you're dealing with. And you want to be able to move on with your life if you're in a relationship that's not working. If you're not in a relationship with anyone right now, you may be chasing after a dream because the timing may be wrong. The soulmate card that I referenced, the Six of Cups, that can just be that you're looking for your soulmate actively. And maybe there's like a Libra person who you think is your soulmate, but maybe they're not. Maybe they are that Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Somebody who you would like to establish something with, but they just can't commit. Or they just can't. I think it would be that they can't commit. You can't rely on them. And maybe in some ways that makes you double down and you want it more, but you really have to look at it. Because if you're looking for a soulmate, you have to find somebody who's on par for that, who wants that. Just like the scales, they have to be balanced. It can't be you going after them and them just kind of dragging their heels, maybe, in some cases. Who knows? The outcome is the Two of Wands. This is a card of being at a crossroads in your life, maybe, and you have two paths. Going back to that scenario that I mentioned about career versus home, that's the opposition between the 4th and 10th houses. You know, we are going to have a full moon at the end of June, on June 28th in Capricorn, which is your opposite sign. So that is going to activate the 4th and 10th houses. And I mean, for you, it's the 1st and the 7th house, actually. The self and the other, or the self and the couple. You as an individual and you within a couple. Couplehood. And so you may see something in your partner at that time that kind of shines a light onto him or her and makes you see them in a new way. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. When somebody does something or they say something and you may have known them for all your life and you go, wow, really? That's how they are, huh? And it's like you just learned who they are. And that's what this card is about, that sense of cutting through the illusion, or maybe the denial, and seeing the person as they really are. And that is your sense of empowerment and your ability to move on with your life and it doesn't even have to be you in a relationship. It's like you may be holding on to a dream of a certain person, and that allows you to move ahead. It's like it liberates you, if you know what I mean. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there, Cancer. And I realize that there's a lot going on here. So it is kind of like a general reading, and I like to do tarot readings on YouTube because it is quite open-ended, and I can touch upon, different angles that could be possibly affecting you. But if you'd like a private reading, the link to my website is below this video. It's ReinaMoonAstrology.com, and a lot of readings, like my love reading, for instance, I do focus primarily on astrology because that can hone in on you personally, much more than the cards do for me. But I love it when you guys tell me that the cards resonate. Okay, have a great month. Bye.